I apologize for coming on late again, but okay, basically went to bed last night after this short show. Drove my mom and my stepfather to the airport. He had to be there early in the morning, and I generally don't go to sleep until 2 or 3, and then sometimes I have a hard time going to sleep, okay? And so what happens is that when I have a hard time going to sleep, it means, I don't actually get to sleep until sometimes 4 in the morning. So I had to wake up at 6:30. So collectively, I would say I got maybe 2 hours sleep, right? And took him to the airport, came back, had breakfast, did a little work, and then I went back to sleep, and I didn't wake up again until 4:14 during the day. And so sometimes in part because my body's on a West Coast clock, but I'm here, and then I do this, and I go to bed, and then sometimes I can't sleep because I've got, I try to get to sleep, but on most nights in the past, I would stay up late during the shares, and I still have those to do, but the reason I'm backlogged is because I try to get to bed earlier, so I'm not up until the wee hours of the morning, or it feels like it, doing that, because I'll do that, and then I'll find something else to get into that I didn't do, or some email that I didn't send, or some project that I was still trying to complete for a client or whatever. So what it boils down to is my sleep pattern is completely screwed up. Just completely 1000% screwed up. So as a result, normally I try to get on here at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and then I think I'll go to the gym, right? And I'll go to the gym to get myself revved up. But then when you get yourself revved up, you're also a little tired. And so you have to have the coffee, keep yourself awake here, right? Ta-da, coffee. And the coffee keeps you awake to do this, and then you go back and you go to sleep, and you do this you try not to do the whole thing over again. What you really want to do is start a little earlier. But see, if I start earlier, I can't get my gym time in, because I can't get the dinner time in when I'm visiting my mom. It's different when I'm back in California. So one day I'll get it all straight, but that's the reason I'm starting at 12:25 when I really originally intended to start at 8:30. And now when I have a guest, I don't do that because, hey, it's a guest, right? You don't want to do that to your guest. But in this, I don't know that I really want to do that to you all, the valued viewer. But I want to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape rather than coming here at 8:30 and I'm like, okay? And so I'm about to so I've got to rev myself up. I've got to get myself going, laugh a little at Colbert, that sort of thing, right? And get started, right? And I hope that everything, turns out right. So I say that all long-windedly to apologize for my tardiness and lateness, and I'm always ready to talk about Vegas, but I prefer to talk about the upcoming contest because I think it's a trap game. I think it's a trap game, okay? And when I say trap game, what do I mean? I mean just that. Big Eightful, how you doing, man? Let me ask you, Big Eightful, do you think that the Raiders game is a trap game? You know what I mean? In other words, that game that on paper it looks like the Raiders should just clobber the Giants. And as opposed to, the outcome being the opposite, that they not only lose to the New York Football Giants, but they get blown out of the stadium by the New York Football Giants. And Big April says, yes, if they don't take it seriously, which could happen. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's really the case. That could happen. Now, it could happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope with all of my heart it doesn't happen, but it could happen. You know, it really could. The question is, why? Now, a lot of people are pointing at Geno Smith as the reason. Look, there are people who hate Geno Smith. I am not one of them, okay? I do not hate Geno Smith. Geno Smith, to me, is a most, how do I put it, misunderstood man. He is, when he came out of college from West Virginia, I thought he was the perfect definition of you know, a man-child. Yeah, I mean that, a man-child. He was, hold on a second. He was very, obviously green, but ready to prove that he was worthy of being an African-American quarterback. And you're going to say, what do I mean? I'll show you what I mean in a second. Well, let me explain that. Hey, everybody who just come in, welcome to Zenny62 Live. And I'm talking primarily Geno Smith. Because a number of people in the media have called Geno Smith names. Like, they've called Geno Smith a bum. Hey, Rick Rice, let me ask you, what do you think of Geno Smith? I know you think that Joe Flacco's elite, but in that context, what do you think of Geno Smith? Big Eightful, what do you think of Geno Smith? SF Events, what do you think of Geno Smith? I want to know what the collective, the growing collective tonight thinks of Geno Smith. In fact, I'll write that down. What? WHTADU think of Geno Smith. What do you think of Geno Smith? All right. Rick Rice says Geno Smith is going to turn their season around. They might even make the playoffs. Whoa! I didn't expect that. Geno. Now, Melvin Lovejoy describes him in one word: immature. Patrick M. Blackman says that I think he's a backup quarterback at best. That's what he says. He says he thinks that Geno Smith is at best a backup quarterback. Why do you think that? Hey, go CSU Rams. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while. Nice to have you here. And nice to have you here. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think he is a backup quarterback at best? I'm curious. What's up with that? Yeah, I just like to know. Is it that I'm waiting for your reasoned statement? Go CSU Rams. What do you think of Geno Smith? Welcome back, by the way. What do you think of Geno Smith? What are your thoughts? Melvin Lovejoy thinks that Geno Smith is immature. Rick Rice thinks that Geno Smith will march the Giants into the playoffs. What say you? What say you? Now, Big Eightful fires back that, how do you put it? Let's see here. He says, I'm reading, if you're wondering why I'm looking down, folks, if you're just watching a video on demand, I'm looking down at the comments here. This is what I'm looking at, okay? Just so you understand. This is what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at, okay? For example, ooh, Patrick M. Blackman says he's not an alpha male. Wow. Big Eightful says, in the right spot, Geno might be a player, but this is just like he was with the Jets. Go CSU Rams is, hey, telling us about, you know, he was gone on his trip. How was your trip? Go CSU Rams. Geno Smith, he says, yeah, welcome back. Now, let's see here. Welcome back. Now, Rick Rice says Geno Smith has more interceptions than touchdowns. He's lucky to be in the league. Okay. I'll go there right now. First of all, I'll go there right now. First of all, what I'm doing right here is I'm tweeting and Facebooking out this to put this out. Good evening, Mr. Grogan. What do you think of Geno Smith? What do you think of Geno Smith? Of the New York Football Giants. What do you think of Geno Smith? I'm curious. NY Giants. What do you think of Geno Smith? And let's see here. I am also, well, I've got that tweet has been posted. All right. And let's see here. Crawford says, Melvin Lovejoy says, team is already giving up, so I don't see an improvement. Eli was disrespected. Geno was 1-1 versus us. Now we have Patrick and Blackman says, a real quarterback handles tough situations, even if he's not the best player on the team. Grogan says he gets an incomplete grade so far. That Grogan says he hasn't seen enough yet. Go CSU Rams made a comment, which I'm going to repeat in one moment. Just want to make sure I'm putting this out on Facebook. And I believe it's out there. Yeah. So post to Facebook. Is it? It is posted. Yeah. Now it is there. Okay, cool. Now, on Facebook. Now, once more, I'll put it on with LinkedIn, which I haven't done in a while. And Big April informs us the Lakers and the Warriors are tied at 93. Ooh. Ooh. And we have, let's see. Rick Rice says, McAdoo just trying to get fired ahead of schedule. But do you blame McAdoo for that? I'm curious, do you blame McAdoo for that action? At all. And Go CSU Rams says, it was good, and I like him, talking about Geno Smith. But I think the Raiders will beat him, and the Giants will still not make it to the playoffs. He's still not a very good quarterback. He's like Brock Osweiler, comparing. So we have Go CSU Rams comparing Geno Smith to Brock Osweiler. Interesting. Okay. I think Geno Smith's biggest handicap with the New York Jets was Chad and Gailey. Chad Gailey, the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets, was the worst thing that could happen to this newly minted quarterback for the team. Why? Because Gailey, Chad Gailey at one point was really well regarded in the National Football League, but he has really lost. I never thought he really had the ability to be a great innovator. He was a guy that could coach unquestionably. He could tell a player to go from here to there, right? That's coaching. But in terms of developing that game plan that wins you championships, that develops quarterbacks, that's not Chan Gailey. Now, when I first heard of Chan Gailey, it was from Al Casal, the Raiders' executive assistant, who regarded him as a young, up-and-coming coach. And we got into that because I criticized him, and Locasal pushed back on my criticism. But I said, well, what has he done to demonstrate that he's really that good? And he said, well, he expressed more an article of faith. He'll get there. I think what Chan Gailey was very good at was saying the right words to get the job, and then holding on to the job just long enough to support his family and engineer for himself a comfortable retirement. That's about it. But in terms of actually being the kind of offensive coordinator that really changes the game, or offensive coach like a Chip Kelly or a Bill Walsh, or a Kevin Sumlin, or a Tony Franklin, or a Sonny Dykes, or Bill Musgrave, the kind of person who has an obvious imprint and effective offensives. And yes, I did put Musgrave in that category. Chan Gailey is not there to me. He's not there to me, okay? So I hold that he really ruined Geno Smith. Now, let's see here. We have Rick Rice says there's no reason to change quarterbacks at this point unless you put a rookie in just to see what he got. Well, that would be Davis Webb. And Crawford points out to us that the Warriors are badly being outplayed by the Lakers. Is that game in LA? If it is, I expect the Lakers to lose. They seem to perennially go down there and get, you know, for their butt kicking. And then it's kind of like next, okay? If it's at the Coliseum, okay? So, we've got, Big April says if the Raiders, Rick Rice says it would be Raider-like to lose this game. Big April says it's in LA, you can forget it, the Warriors are losing. The Warriors seem to lose under Steve Kerr to LA, in LA, every year. I don't know why. It's kind of like an annual butt-kicking thing. So when you tell me the Warriors are playing the Lakers in LA, I'm like, oh, okay, is Jack on the sidelines? You know, Jack Nicholson. Is he awake? What's he doing? Does he come to the games anymore, Jack Nicholson? I must confess, I am in check. And I'm informed that it's at Staples Center, and indeed Jack Nicholson is courtside. Crawford says, speaking of dysfunction, the New York Football Giants got one going on. Sure say that again. Now, I made that crack about Geno. Go CSU Ram says, I am so mad that Eli was bitch. I think that was the worst decision by McAdoo ever. Eli's a great quarterback. He's like his brother Peyton in a way. I still have the view that decision did not come from Ben McAdoo. I believe it came, and I strongly believe it came from general manager of the New York Giants, and I firmly believe that either the general manager or the team president or some combination of the two initiated that call, okay? And basically left it to McAdoo to carry the weight and the blame of it, and then say, okay, I made the call. Now, yeah, I believe that, just like I believe that it was Mark Davis, and if you like, Reggie McKenzie, who made the call to fire Ken Norton Jr. I think it was Mark Davis, because it still, again, wasn't an intelligent move. Okay? Just like this Eli Manning move wasn't an intelligent move. And when you get these moves that aren't intelligent in teams that generally are known for, okay, the occasional boneheaded decision, but not this boneheaded, you've got to start looking way upstairs, like above someone's pay grade. Grogan says, I agree. I believe the owner signed off on it. Coach take the heat. Crawford says, the Giants need a house cleaning. Rick Rice says they need to bench the entire offensive line, not their quarterback. Donis asks, is Jack alive? And Crawford says, must be the nightclubs they go to the night before the game. And let's see here. Go CSU Rams had a comment, says, okay, in that case, I'm mad at the GM and the CEO for that decision. Donis says, I think Jack is retired. Oh, from movies? Yeah, Jack Nicholson is retired from movies, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Big April says, and I still don't know what to make of The Postman Always Rings Twice. Have you ever seen that movie? All right. If you have, just type yeah. If you have seen The Postman Always Rings Twice, type yes or why. If you've not seen it, rather type no, and then I'll explain. All right, so now the Warriors are up 100 to 95. How much time left? I could call it up on my computer, couldn't I? Big Apple says if the Raiders were smart, they would take the Eli Manning benching as a disrespect to their D. I didn't think about that. And be ready to shut out the Geno Smith-led Giants. Okay. Rick Rice says, Ken Norton Jr. firing is the best thing that happened to the team all this year. I completely disagree. Donis says he's not seen The Postman Always Wings Twice. Crawford says he can handle the truth. Rick Rice has not seen The Postman Always The Postman Always Rings Twice. Crawford says down to 2 points. Rick Rice says he cannot Crawford. Now, I am a Geno Smith fan. This is what I'm about to show you. It explains in part why I explained the first leg of why I'm a Geno Smith fan, but I didn't explain the second leg, okay? At all. But Geno Smith is, let's see here. Here we go. All right. There is Geno Smith right here, okay?
The 2018 Cadillac XT5.
Oh,
Greater than the sum.
Skip the ad there. There's that. All right, this is Mr. Geno Smith when I met him at the NFL draft. This was before he was drafted, okay?
Is it difficult? Do you have to prepare yourself for tomorrow, knowing that based on everything we've seen, you could go pretty high, pretty low, but there's no real idea where you could end up?
Not really. I mean, it's my mom's birthday. That's the biggest thing for me. You know, like I always say, I'm a selfless guy, so I'm really there to enjoy the birthday with her. And once I get drafted, then we'll share a moment then. But right now, I'm just, happy-go-lucky, happy to be here.
Did you get her a gift of any sort, or is this the gift?
Oh, yeah. I got her plenty of gifts.
What are some positives you
Sorry for the buffering, folks. Okay.
hearing back from, or you heard back from NFL teams?
I mean, it's all been positive. Even from Trent Dilfer's a guy who I've worked with, Coach Mooch, John.
Coach Mooch is Steve Mariucci of the NFL Network.
All those guys have positive things to say. Obviously, at this point in my career, there's a lot of work to be done as far as development. But I mean, that's for everyone. So, but with what I've done in college, which is pretty much put behind me, teams. Really like it and think I can excel at the next level.
As a high school senior, did Chip Kelly offer you?
Yes.
Yeah, and how deep did you go in discussions with Oregon?
Well, he visited my high school like 2 or 3 times, but I mean, Eugene, Oregon is miles away from
DJ Manuel said.
So, I just didn't want to go that far.
Hey, Mr. Smith, how would you say the air raid has prepared you for the National Football League?
Well, the different passing concepts, different route combinations, allowing me to have freedom to change plays at the line of scrimmage and call plays, dealing with the run game as well as the pass game. So overall, just giving me complete control of the offense.
Now, I want to stop right there, okay? Because, all right, let me just have that buffer for a bit. And the reason why is because, in fact, I'm going to replay that. Hold on a second.
Scrimmage and call plays. I just didn't want to go that far.
Hey, Mr. Smith, how would you say the air raid has prepared you for the National Football League?
Well, the different passing concepts, different route combinations, allowing me to have freedom to change plays at the line of scrimmage and call plays, dealing with the run game as well as the pass game. So overall, just giving me complete control of the offense as well as throwing a number of route combinations versus various defenses.
Do you know where you rank in terms of total yardage of any of the NFL draft quarterbacks over the past year over Cam Newton?
Cam Newton.
Yeah. You're over Andrew Luck by just a little bit in terms of career yardage. In fact, you're number 1. Has anyone told you that?
No.
Yeah, you're number 1. Just keep that in mind.
Thank you.
You're basically one of the top super.
All right, cool. So, all right. That was Geno Smith. And the reason why I put that to him is because to that point, Geno Smith had been really maligned. And you don't know this, and a lot of people may not remember this, but at that time, Geno Smith had a couple of asshole agents. And I said it just like that, asshole agents, because Geno and his agents had a difference of opinion regarding how he should be trained and marketed. And so he fired them. He fired his agents on the spot during the draft process, okay? And Jason Cole, Bleacher Report, was buttonholed by them. and he put out a story about Geno that I thought was unfair, and that played into the hands of the desires of his now former agents to discredit him, talking about his alleged bad habits and work ethic and that sort of thing. And it caused, to a degree, his draft stock to fall. And actually, when I think about it quite a bit, he was already a low first round pick, but it caused him to fall lower, and it was quite upsetting to him. It really was. And I told him to just personally hang in there. We were communicating on Twitter to hang in there. And the reason why I did so is because, look, I've covered the NFL draft since 2005, and I have seen a dramatic change in the black athlete coming into the league. Most notably, and I'm trying to figure out the words to say it, so I'll just say it. The black athlete that has come into the NFL starting around 2010 was more demonstrably, expressively intelligent. They spoke, as opposed to trying to affect street language, they spoke in such a way you have no idea what color they were. You could put on a blindfold. I'll give you an example. I had a great conversation with Prince of Mukamara. Nada comes soon, all right? I mean, these were people, or are people, who are intimidatingly smart. And prior to 2010, you didn't see a lot of that. Among the African Americans that were coming into the league to the draft, you didn't see that. And with the emergence of this kind of NFL player, who now leads the charge to protest, think about what I'm saying to you, okay? You have people who don't know what to do with that. I'm not going to name names. I will say that Geno's one of those people, and his agents didn't know what to do with him, so they tried to discredit him. A number of coaches didn't quite know what to do with Geno. A number of other people who are black didn't know what to do with Geno. And it's not that Geno's a bad guy, but the reason why I replayed his answer regarding the air raid offense is because he didn't pause and say, what? He got what I was saying. He talked about the route combinations. And the reason why I asked him that question, aside from my personal love for the air raid offense and interest in the air raid, is that I wanted to hear his answer, and I wanted to talk about technical football, and he did not miss a beat at all. Okay? At all. And if you're dealing with somebody like that, and in the NFL, the one thing, let me rephrase what I'm saying here. I think some people don't understand how to coach or work with a fellow like that who's able to be critical of what he's being taught. And if you as a coach don't understand concepts, if you don't really have your concepts down, if you don't understand the raison d'etre for why you do something, and he has a question for it, and you can't adequately answer that question, he cannot buy into your system. Okay? And so that is why I believe Geno Smith has had an unusually hard time. And maybe this Giants organization is the answer. We'll see. We'll see. I think the jury is still out in terms of Geno Smith being with the right organization. But his place of being poorly coached translates into more interceptions than touchdowns. And what should have happened when he was drafted is the Jets should have put him into as reasonable a facsimile of the offense he was used to playing, which is the air raid, as possible, which has concepts which have proven to work in the NFL because a lot of them came from the NFL and people like Mike Bartz. So there's no logical reason for the New York Jets under Chan Gailey not to have done that. But guess what, folks? They didn't do it. Okay? They didn't make him comfortable. They half-assed it. That's what's going on with Jameis Winston in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston should be being groomed to be the next Peyton Manning. He is also smart. But the system has not actuated the intelligent part of him. There's a voice that exists today that says to a black person still, don't express how smart you are. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the person is. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, who's the audience. That's what's put out there. And what we get is, and we're starting to have a reckoning about this because we have movies like Hidden Fingers, which if you haven't seen it, you should see it. But all that leads to the NFL of today. You say, well, that's all that have to do. Everything, okay? Everything. So that's why I root for Geno Smith. Now, is that going to translate into a win for Geno? I don't know. Because it all depends on the Giants' defense and everything else. Does that mean that it was right to bench Eli Manning? Hell no. It was completely wrong. All right? So, Go CSU Ram says the Giants did beat the Broncos. I was expecting the Broncos to win that one too. And Big April says the game is tied at 109. Now, Big April says if the Raiders are serious about this game, it should be over by halftime, with E.J. Manuel getting some playing time around the end of the third quarter or the start of the fourth. Yep, that's exactly the case. Game tied at 109. I gotta see what's going on here. Overtime? Oh boy, overtime? What? Overtime. Boy, oh boy. How about that? OT, overtime. So I don't think, so if you're asking me to predict who will win the game, I think it's going to be, I think the Giants, I think it's going to be the Giants. And the reason is that it's not because of the whole trap game issue, but it's because of the injuries the Raiders have and the suspension problem. So you're going to have Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree out. Okay? And we've got versus, here comes Geno Smith. And maybe they'll sprinkle in a little Davis Webb from Cal. We'll see. Especially since Davis Webb is coming home. So they might want to give him a little taste. All right? And yeah, yeah, go CSU Rams. They are playing at home. They are playing at home. Might want to give them a little taste. You know, so I'm going to peek over at the Warrior game real quick and see what's happening. Because it's overtime. And again, Warriors v. LA. It's overtime. 109-109, end of regulation. The Warriors are 15-6. The Lakers are 8-12. And so looking at the stats here, the Warriors outscored the Lakers by 10 in the first quarter. They were outscored by the Lakers by 14 in the second quarter. And then they came back to outscore the Lakers by 4 in the third quarter. And now, wow, in the fourth quarter, they both scored 25. So here we are, 109. And at the end of regulation. And that's all we've, oh yeah, here we've got more. We got more. So that's what's going on as far as that's concerned. Now, let's see here. Change this. Now, hi to Zenny60. Welcome to Zenny62. Yeah, Crawford, I saw it was overtime with the Lakers. But why do you all think the Warriors are doing so poorly this year? Why are the Warriors, instead of being at 15-6, why aren't
Warriors
they
doing so poorly this year? Why are the
Warriors at 15-6 instead of say 18-3 or 19-2? What's wrong with the Warriors that they're in this position in your view? I think, and I said it the other night, is I think that they are satisfied. They've got their rings. They're battle weary from 3 years of finals. KD has got what he's wanted. He's got his wish. He's got his ring. I don't sense that there's this hunger, which is probably why he got injured, to get another ring. And Crawford says, could this be the year they don't win the title? Well, yeah, complacency. The C word. Thank you, Crawford371. That's what I'm looking for. The C word. Complacency. That's it. Complacency. Complacency. Yeah. And Patrick and Blackman says teams are catching up to them. Complacency and fatigue. And but you also said teams are catching up to them. They are, you know, everybody knows the Warriors game now. You know, they know exactly, and they modeled it because, hey, look at the results. It wins. It wins. Oh, you know, you can't beat that. You can't beat that with a stick, as they used to say, right? They're winning. So, right? They're winning. But also, I really believe something else, too. And I hate to say it. I'm hesitant to say it, but I will just say it. And I think they're just older, too. You know? There's a certain place that you get to in terms of your optimal combination of age, experience, and talent. And if you don't have that just right, you can falter. Now, Warriors up 115 to 109. Patrick and Blackman says makes them play a half-court game and get physical with them. Hey, Malcontent, how are you? Any thoughts on the upcoming JPA meeting? I haven't checked the agenda, but I'll do that right now. We had the last JPA meeting. That's actually a ways off, you know. So we just had a JPA meeting on the 17th. Are you of November where Kecker and Van Ness was hired? So is there a particular issue encapsulated within the JPA meeting that you're thinking about, Malcontent? Just curious. Just curious. And he's not answering. I know the last JPA meeting, Kecker and Van Ness was hired as the attorney of record to represent the Raiders in the parking negotiation issue where the Raiders owe over $900,000 in back parking revenues to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority, and they haven't been paid. Now, to date, the Raiders have only paid, according to the JPA records, $61,000 to the JPA of that over $900,000 that is owed. So, this issue originally reared its head on June 30th of 2017, this year, and as of November 17th, carrying through to today, which is the 29th of November, it is still, to my knowledge, unresolved. So, Malcontent, what's your thought about this? Now, Go CSU Ram says, wow, that's a lot of money. Yep, it is. Savage says, who won, Warriors or Lakers? Well, I will tell you, it is still regulation. It's overtime. 3 minutes and 45 seconds into overtime, the Warriors have just scored another. They're up 116 to 109. And, yeah, so they are nearing, they're pulling away. They are pulling away, if you want to know. You want a scoring breakdown? Jaja Pachula's at 11, Kevin Durant 25, which is below his average there. Steph Curry is 21. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Last year, Kevin Durant was playing his butt off. He had, what, I think the highest average in the league, something like that. It was just something scary. Now he's tempered, okay? He's tempered. Curry is 21. Let's see here. And we've got a system that will not properly scroll. Okay. I'm trying to scroll down and get the rest of the information, and the page won't let me scroll, which is a bit of a bugger. Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me there, folks. Got it. Okay, now I got the whole thing. Klay Thompson has 20, Draymond Green 15, Andre Iguodala 2, Nick Young 9. What else? Kevin Looney has 2, Jordan Bell 6, Sean Livingston 5, Patrick McCaw 0, Damian Jones has nothing, Quinn Cook has nothing. So that's where we're at right now. Rick Wright says, Warriors all realize that none of the games matter until the playoffs start. Well, but did they matter? Do they realize that? Well, I don't know about that, because the last 2 Warriors organizations were really Jack Bull determined to set records on the way to the playoffs, okay? They liked dominating. They liked being considered among the elite teams in history. You know, it just really seemed that they were really on to that. And this year, it doesn't have that feel. It just doesn't. Now, Malcontent says Steph is playing hurt with a bandaged ring finger on his shooting hand. Rick Rice says Warriors playing pickup games until the playoffs start, and that they are, yeah. Now, Malcontent, you didn't answer my question about the JPA. Is there an issue in particular that you are concerned about? Now, I will say, or look rather, and see what the agenda is. Oakland, Alameda County, Coliseum, JPA. Okay. By the way, tomorrow at 8:30, American Jedi, a documentary about a true life documentary, a true story documentary about a group of people who are and have established the Force and the Jedi Knights as a religion and a calling. You heard me correctly. American Jedi is a movie, and it's about a group of people who have established the Force and the Jedi Knights as a real human live religion, and about what their unique walk in lives caused them, or happened that caused them to choose this path. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. And it's not to the point where we talk about, you know, such things as how the Jedi move objects with their minds and all that stuff. But no. So anyway, as far as, now, lease extension? Let's see here. As far as that's concerned. I'm looking at the agenda. So public information meetings, about us, and the next board meeting. Oh, by the way, for those of you who might be wondering, the making the Coliseum, okay, the next board member, the next board member meeting is tomorrow. It's the 30th. Okay, that's the retreat document. JPA agenda. Ah, okay. So I'm opening the agenda right now. That's new. Okay. It says JPA agenda 11/30 to 2017 retreat docs. So it's a retreat. And I'm opening that up right now. Well, you can't know everything, can you? Hold on a second. Downloads, JPA agenda. But thank you for bringing this to my attention, Malcontent. Hold on. I'm waiting for the document, the agenda document to open. Okay. And I'm waiting for it to open. And I'm waiting for it to open. And I'm waiting for it to open. And my computer's buffering on documents too much, and it's driving me crazy. Ugh. Oh, man. Come on. All right. Board retreat. Special meeting agenda. November 30th, 2017. Call to order. It says new business. Exploratory discussion of a future transformation of the Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum Complex property area, including a discussion of the Oakland Raiders timeline scenario at the Coliseum, Golden State Warriors timeline scenario at the Oracle Arena, the Oakland A's new stadium timeline, upcoming and potential future Oracle Arena entertainment events and activities, information item, discussion of the proposed Oakland A's new stadium at Laney College, including current and potential future role of the Coliseum, and then closed session pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956, okay? And this is under negotiation price in terms of master agreement lease extension. Ah. Okay. The Oakland Raiders. So this is it. The Raiders are negotiating to extend their lease. That's what's on the agenda here, okay? That's what's on the agenda here. Oh, yeah. All right. That's a great, all right. Lakers are down 1. Are you them? Okay. The fact that the Raiders are negotiating for that lease extension, yeah, I have to call Larry Reed and see if I can get some background on this one. And it is 10:09. But excuse me. Let's see here. Let me do something else here. Let me do one thing. I want to make a bat call. Hold on, so I'm going to make a bat call. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, the Warriors won. Woohoo! All right. Folks, I'm going to stop this stream and start a new one, okay? I'll be back.